for me. Darling, just dive right in and follow my lead. I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. We are just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you time, baby. I'm dancing in the dark, you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. You said you loved to mass. I whispered underneath my breath. You heard it, darling. You are perfect tonight.
Do you need something to write?
No, I'm fine.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
So beautiful. Friends and family of Jenn and Ross, good afternoon. Welcome and get closer so you can be here and see. Welcome and thank you for being here on this important day. We are gathered here today to celebrate the very special love between Jenn and Ross by joining them together in marriage. Who presents this woman to be married to this man?
I do.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Margaret. It is truly a blessing for two people to find one another and to love so deeply that they embrace the bond of marriage. That is why we're here today, Jenn and Ross, in the beautiful sunny surroundings of the Ladies' Pavilion in Central Park, to witness and to celebrate your commitment to your union. I welcome you both and all of you to New York and to Central Park. Jenn and Ross would also like me to thank you, their guests, for making the journey to be with them today, to witness their wedding, to celebrate with them, as well as having a holiday of a lifetime. Ross and Jenn would especially like to thank Ben and Jack for being best men, and Kelly and Arena for being bridesmaids, and Reese and Rhea as being page boy and flower girl. A special thank you to Margaret for all of your help and support leading up to the wedding. I would like us all to take a brief moment to think of those special to us who cannot be here today, especially Jenn's dad, Robert, who is no longer with us. On such a special day, he will be in our thoughts and will be looking down on all of us with a massive smile on his face, and will be so very happy for Ross and Jenn on their special day today to be surrounded by all of their family. Now, James, Jenn's uncle, will read out a special letter for all of us today from Ross's mom and dad, Ian and Joanne.
Hey Ross, I received this from your mum a few weeks ago and she wants me to read it out today. Hi Ross and Jenn. We just wanted you to know that although we can't be with you today in New York, we're with you in our hearts. We can't wait to see you back in Glasgow. We are really looking forward to the 15th when we will all be together to celebrate this lovely day. We know you will be very happy. You obviously love one another and adore each other very much. We would like to welcome Jenn into the family with open arms and wish you both health, happiness and a long and loving marriage. All that remains to say is we send you all our love and have had a fantastic time there in New York. Lots of love, Mum, Dad and Nicola.
Thank you so much, that was lovely. Surprise! So as you all know, Jenn and Ross began dating back in December 2014 while Ross was visiting with work. Little did he know that in 6 months' time he would be living in Glasgow. They made the most of weekends away together within those 6 months, with Ross taking advantage of more work trips to Glasgow since he was becoming a fan of the city. And Jenn. In May, Ross moved to Glasgow and moved in with his friend. However, it didn't last long as Ross and Jenn moved into their flat together less than 2 months later. Everyone here today will know how much they love a holiday. You hear that? Did you hear that laughter? I only speak truth. And within their time together, they have experienced so many amazing trips together, like here in New York, Barbados, and a California road trip. It was the trip to San Francisco in which Ross decided to ask that special question, and Jenn had no doubt in saying yes. Both Ross and Jenn are best friends and have shared so many happy memories, with loads more to come, especially with moving into their first house together later this year. Now Jack, the best man, will read the poem, "This Day I Married My Best Friend."
This day I married my best friend, the one I laugh with as we share life's wondrous zest, as we find new enjoyments and experience all that's best. The one I live for because the world seems brighter, as our happy times are better and our burdens feel much lighter. The one I love with every fibre of my soul. We used to feel vaguely incomplete. Now together we are whole.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jack. Jenn and Ross, your marriage today is a public and legal joining of your souls that have already been united as one in your hearts. Marriage will allow you a new environment to share your lives together, standing together to face life and the world hand in hand. Marriage is going to expand you as individuals, define you as a couple, and deepen your love for one another more each and every day. To be successful, you will need strength, courage, and lots of patience. So let your marriage be a time of waking each morning and falling in love with each other all over again. Jenn and Ross, I remind you that marriage is a precious gift, a lifelong commitment, and a challenge to love one another more completely, each and every day. Jenn and Ross, since it is your intention to enter into marriage, please look at each other and declare your consent before these witnesses. Have you come here freely and without reservation to give yourselves to each other in marriage? Will you honor each other as husband and wife for the rest of your lives? Fantastic. Ross Curry, do you take Jenn Laird to be your wife, to live together in the covenant of marriage? Do you promise to love her, comfort her, honor and keep her for better or for worse, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, to share her thoughts, hopes, and dreams, forsaking all other, and to be faithful only to her so long as you both shall live? Jenn Laird, do you take Ross Curry to be your husband, to live together in the covenant of marriage? Do you promise to love him, comfort him, honor and keep him for better or for worse, in richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, to share his thoughts, hopes, and dreams, forsaking all others, and to be faithful only to him, so long as you both shall live? Now, Jenn and Ross, you will make special promises to each other. Who wants to go first?
You are my best friend. I love you with all my heart. When I stand here before our family, sharing the happiest day of my life, I want nothing more than to share my future with you, my triumphs and my challenges, the joys and the sad times. Together I know we'll be very special and extremely happy.
I promise to love you when you drive me crazy, to respect you when we disagree, and to always be there if bad times come our way, and to always remember how lucky I am to have you by my side.
Beautiful. And so we come, Jenn and Ross, to the presentation of the rings by which you symbolize and bind your love. May I have the rings, please? Look at this beautiful box. Beautiful. It's in there. I promise. Thank you so much. Great. As you place the ring on Jenn's finger, please say to her these words. With this ring,
With this ring,
I thee wed,
I thee wed,
as a symbol of my love,
as a symbol of my love
and commitment to you.
and my commitment to you.
with this ring.
With this ring,
I be wed.
I be wed.
As a symbol of my love.
As a symbol of my love.
And pledge to you. How do they feel?
Good.
Great, they're going to be on for a while, so
Yeah.
they should feel good. Jenn and Ross, inasmuch as you have consented together in marriage before these beautiful witnesses, have pledged your faith in each other and declared your unity by giving and receiving a ring, by the power vested in me by the state of New York, I pronounce you husband and wife. Congratulations, you may kiss the bride. It is my pleasure to introduce for the first time Mr. and Mrs. Curry.
I've been sleeping here instead. I've been sleeping in my bed. Sleeping in my bed. Oh! Hey! Oh! Hey! So show me family and all the blood that I will bleed. I don't know where I belong. I don't know where I went wrong. But I can write a
Just a few words on behalf of me and my beautiful and lovely wife. It looks absolutely amazing in that dress. I knew it was going to be good, but you blew me away with that one. I want to thank everybody for coming, and best men and bridesmaids, and everybody for travelling all the way to New York to witness and enjoy the wedding with us. I also want to thank my wife for all the hard work and tears she's put into this with my assistance. I'll add, into planning this wedding and proving once again, as always, she puts 110% effort into all things family. And Mags, we can't forget, has been amazing, and where is she? Has been amazing and an ever-present force throughout the planning. We definitely could not have done this without you for many reasons. Now I'm going to try and keep this brief, don't want to bore you too much, but how the hell did a Yorkshireman end up with a group of Scots in New York?
You're lucky.
I know. It doesn't seem 2 minutes since I met Jenn on a cold December night in Glasgow while I was up on working commitments. Little did I know, on Christmas Day after, on the morning, I'd be declaring my intent to move to Glasgow. Needless to say, it went down like a lead balloon with my dad. My mum didn't comment, and our Nicola reacted with an unlit cigarette in one hand and a can of Strongbow in the other, with the usual positivity, saying, "Do it, do it." And that's how our story began. Before I knew it, I was being more flexible for work in Scotland, but really using that as an excuse to spend more time with Jenn. Come that February, a role within work had come up in Scotland, and I was ready to commit myself to Jenn and Glasgow and give up on my Yorkshire life, sunny English climates, and engross myself in all things Scotland. Bad weather, rain, more rain, and square sausage in a roll, or as I knew it, a well done sausage burger in a tea cake. On the 1st of May 2015, I took the plunge, left Yorkshire at 5 AM and headed to Glasgow, moving into my mate's flat in Renfrew. It didn't take me long to adapt to the Scottish lifestyle, and soon I felt like I was truly fitting in. I was drinking more beer than before. I discovered gin and tonic and found a fondness for a square sausage and bacon doubler on a weekend morning. Aside from all the beer, rolls and Glasgow nights, I really started to get to know Jenn. and I was falling in love with her, and at this point I realised she was the nicest and kindest person I've ever met, and I admired her for always putting other people before herself. I would describe Jenn as not having a bad bone in her body, and I still go by this to this day. In the time between then and now, we moved in together, the infamous Gaubles, or new Gaubles, as we would tell people who asked. Travelled to various places around the globe, had trips to sunny Yorkshire, and cemented myself into my Scottish family. We've had some amazing times and some sad times, the sad times being when Jenn's dad Robert passed away. Definitely one of life's truly nice guys. Jenn first described him to me as being a top footballer called the Big Bear on the pitch, and being 6'4" tall. The description alone is enough to give a boyfriend the fear of God right to the first meeting. When I did meet Robert for the first time, I was nervous on the way to the house. I'd already met Margaret and she was lovely, but a 6'4" bear, anything could happen to me. I arrived, knocked on the door, Jenn answered, and in I went. I saw him, the bear. He stood up from his chair. I put my hand out and I said, "Hi, I'm Ross." The response could have been anything, but the bear actually had a soft and quiet voice. He didn't bite my hand, he simply said, "Pleased to meet you." Then our friendship started and we discussed golf and all things football. I take comfort in that I got to know him well in the time we spent together. I know for sure he's looking down on us with a smile on his face and a desperado in hand, giving us his blessing. I just hope he's forgiven me for getting in a huff with him during a round of golf. When he commented on my swing, even though I was beating him. I didn't speak to him for about half an hour after that, but it was my way of showing my true sportsmanship. And after we shook hands and enjoyed a drink together in the bar. Now once again, I want to thank everybody for coming, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. I just want to hand you over to best man number 2. Oh, sorry. Margaret?
Yeah.
Some words? Oh, no.
Margaret want to say?
Yeah, you go first then.
Yeah.
No, I would just like to say thanks to everyone for all coming, and I know the circumstances were all different, it wouldn't have been that way, but Robert would love this, and he'd be shocked that I'm standing here saying all this because I would never do this, but I really am, and it's to everyone that's here, it's everyone that should be here and all wanted to come. I know there's a few special people back home as well, that they're going to have a good time next week, but we're all just happy that these are all the people that are here with us and sharing the day, and I wish them all the happiness in the world. And I really love Ross as well and Jenn. I just wish them all the happiness in the world. Thank you.
Crack on with mine. Flip save. Hello everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm Jack, which is Ross's cousin and friend. Since I was young, I've always lived in the south, so my contact with Ross has always been pretty limited. However, this never stopped us becoming closer than brothers. One weekend, Ross told me that he was coming to London and wanted to stay over, and actually jumped at the chance and said, "See you soon." In that time, both of us on the London town, I think we had some anti-girl aftershave on that night. It may come to your surprise, but that when it came to girls, we had as much success as Rangers winning the league last season. So when Ross called me 2 weeks later, and told me 2 weeks later that he'd met a girl, I almost passed out. In my life, I went through some pretty hard times. I lost my mum, who was Ross's auntie. The first person who called me and checked on me was Ross. And it just shows Ross's nature and that he's basically being a true and kind and caring man. I've only met Jenn a handful of times beforehand, obviously from the distance. But first time I met her, I knew that she was a perfect person for Ross. Their nature goes hand in hand, and they complement each other in incredible ways. My main worry for Ross before we met Jenn was that he would get trapped in the bubble of Yorkshire where he lived. I moved away from my home in the countryside to London at 20, and that alone expanded my horizons and made me realise that anything is possible. I really wanted Ross to have that same view, and since he met Jenn, I thought, job done. I never thought he would leave England, never mind go on a massive road trip to California, and then on top of that get married in New York. I'm sure you'll all agree that Jenn looks fantastic today. Ross doesn't look half bad either. And in addition, Margaret, although I've never met you before, hi, I'm Jack. You look fantastic as well.
Thank you.
I suppose that being best man, I should mention something about the stag do. Being a southerner, I know I was going up for a few drinks with some Scottish lads, and it took me 2 weeks of training my liver and still almost passed out in the Fort pub. One thing I also know about Ross being a part of Jenn's family is that he's never going to go thirsty, and there'll always be someone up for a pint. But thank you for all the lads that came. I know Ross really loved it and appreciated everyone who was there, and we had a really great day, and it was great to meet you all as well. But I'd also, as well as these guys, like to thank everyone for being here, celebrating this amazing day with Ross and Jenn. Love comes down to two people that would do anything for each other, and I know that these two will do for the rest of their lives. So I'd like everyone, if we don't have a glass to do a toast, I'd like everyone just to have a cheer to the happy couple and to Ross and Jenn.
Found love for me. Darling, just dive right in and follow my lead.